Ow. What's up, everyone? Punchy back with Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3, Higurashi. And last we left off, Punchy and Mion, because Punchy came late to school, Punchy and Mion were asked to see the teacher about the situation of Satoko, and that's when, right before that, Punchy and his friends decided that, well, they were gonna actually, let the teacher know and see what can be done from there. Punchy's really adamant about them not waiting around and everything, and I think he's really gotten his point across to the teacher. So it's nice, that she's a little more in the role of this, and it's interesting because we were really happy that Punchy was in, he's really in with the villagers now. He seems more accepted now than he has in previous chapters, and so it's like everyone's kind of gathering together, because this is what they talked about in chapter 2, with Shien told us and everything, how the people of Hinamizawa group up together when one of them is being targeted. This one is a little weird because they're being targeted by someone else in Hinamizawa, but you'd still think that they would have banded together, so it's really odd. It just seemed like that kind of dynamic was thrown out. Or at least they tried, I guess, but things just got worse. So, also, what's really weird is how before we were always worried about who the killers are, what's gonna happen to Punchy, how are things gonna go in terms of Oyashiro-sama's curse and everything. But we've gotten to the point where last chapter we re-met Tomitake and Takano-san, found out about it was 2 videos ago, sorry, about Oyashiro-sama's curse and talking more about that. But it was I almost forgot about it, because of, even though those are obviously integral parts of Satoko's story, but it's just Satoko's abuse is taking so much of the story, because it kind of warrants more attention than the curse right now. But it's almost that is just secondary, so it's really interesting when we know it's going to become integral, an integral part of what's going to happen to Satoko. The die of fate had been cast. Reporting into a public agency, which we kept being warned, could instead result in something far worse for Satoko if we didn't have the evidence first. And just like that. Had I failed? Had I let my emotions get the better of me in that moment? Maybe I should have stayed silent and left everything to Mion, since she had been relatively calm. I remember the punishment game where we had to badmouth Curry, and how me saying anything would have made it worse, and Satoko told us to leave the talking to her. Maybe it was the same thing here. It was impulsive. I was impulsive, so maybe I should have just shut up and looked at the floor. But it was too late to lament it. The die I had thrown wouldn't be coming back into my hands. All we could do was pray for something good to happen. Punchy-kun, you did everything you could, so leave it to the teachers now, okay? Everything I could? If I really gave it everything I had, if I had really struggled, I would have dragged Satoko out of her home last night and hidden her in some abandoned house. I didn't, so that doesn't mean I did everything I could. Stop thinking about it, alright? You're being a little too persistent, Punchy-chan. At this rate, you'll collapse. Just leave me alone. I left her with those words and stared lazily up at the ceiling. I wonder if I'd really got Chie-Sensei to understand. Would the public agency intervene and solve everything within the day? Would they acknowledge the abuse and guarantee her safety? After lunch break, our afternoon classes were mostly self-study. The teacher came back to the classroom occasionally, but then the phone in the lounge would ring and she'd have a long conversation with the caller. Everyone in the class got the feeling they knew what those phone calls were about. Sensei came trotting back from the classroom. "I'm really sorry for all the phone calls recently. Let's call it a day. President, please lead the class." Everybody stand up. It looked to me like Sensei had been wearing a dark expression ever since after a lunch break. It wasn't a very relieving expression. It wouldn't be. Even if Sensei 100% understood the situation and passionately explained it to the other person, at the end, the Child Consultation Center, as a public agency, would be the ones to decide whether to get her to safety. Yeah, it's like the risk of telling them is a lot bigger than you can initially think, because they could be they could just be they could just wait and see. I mean, by telling Chie-Sensei, because he told her she's concerned now, so she tells the agency. So it's like she is even more of a middleman. She doesn't make the rules for the Child Consultation Center. Sensei understood that as well as us, and that's why she looks so unreliable right now. "Punchy-chan, let's go home. I don't think anyone feels like having the club today." "Ahahaha, Mi-chan, it's no fun if someone's not here." Rena was right. It was no fun for us if someone was missing. If the teacher's expression had shown more promise, then maybe we could have gone home more comfortably. But I could have let myself feel relieved. I couldn't be naive and tell myself all I can do is pray, now that the dice have been cast. Just in case they didn't get her to safety and decided to wait and see again, I need to take further measures. We've asked the people who could do something official already. Then, there was one more place that was worth asking for help. She might laugh it off, or I might be right, and I could be endangering my own life. But I try. "Oh, Mion, is it okay if I stop by your place today? You've got a lot of manga, right? I want to borrow a bunch of them." "Huh? Sure, I guess." There was an ominous meaning behind my words, so Mion realized what I meant right away. I wanted to talk about something alone. That's what I meant. "Mi-chan, Punchy-kun, let's go home." Ren already had her shoes on and was waving to us from the schoolyard. Mion's house was gigantic in every way imaginable. The house itself was vaguely old-fashioned, traditional Japanese house, but the yard, I guess, or their plot of land, was enormous. Oh my god, wait a minute. I don't want to say what I'm thinking yet, just in case. It easily convinced me that they really were major landowners, with Hinamizawa under their thumb. Mion brought me through the guest room, and a servant brought us some tea. Wow, you really are rich, huh? You've even got housekeepers. Grandma and I are the only ones who live here. I wouldn't be able to do everything myself. The servant left, telling us it was 5 o'clock. Then we withdrew with soft footsteps. We have people come in and take care of Grandma and clean 2 or 3 times a week. They come in rotations of 3 or 4, so there's someone here almost every day. Only until evening, though. Oh, and if we're having a party or something where we need more help, we call up different people. If you had the money to hire all these people, then just take Satoko in. I glared at her as I thought that, and Mion seemed to catch on immediately. "Oh, sorry. It's fine. I know it's not a money problem. Just to be clear, my family may be rich, but it's not money that I can use freely for myself, okay? I don't want you to misunderstand that." Kind of looked like I was bullying her. Mion had been apologizing to me a lot lately. Was Mion the sort of person who would do that this much? Maybe it's just that I've been looking so grim lately. "So, what's up? You got something to talk about, right?" "I have something pretty serious to discuss, Mion. This will be sudden, you might be surprised, but I want you to hear me out. Oh, please don't let it be what I think it is. Huh? What? Oh, I'll give you way out first. Even if what I say is true, you don't need to admit it. You're allowed to play dumb. Oh god, it is, I think. It has to deal with what Tomitaki-san and Takana-san were talking about earlier. But I want you to listen until the end. I have something to say to the next leader. Oh god, it is. It really is. Of what's still the most important of the 3 families of Onigafuchi village, Mion Sonozaki. At first, Mion looked like she had no idea what I was saying, but hearing the whole sentence and putting it together, she reacted. Where did you hear that? It doesn't really matter. I definitely couldn't tell her who told me. Takano-san, you told me not to, but please forgive me. This is why I asked you about it after all. I was surprised just that you'd heard of Onigafuchi village, Punchy-chan, but you seem to know a lot of things, both true and false, about me too. Yeah, true and false. I really might just have the wrong impression here. But I'm okay with that, so listen. And if it really is true, I don't know what you're getting at, Punchy-chan, but let me say this beforehand. You've got a big misunderstanding. So if it were possible, I wouldn't want to hear what you're about to say. Because even if you said it, I can't do anything to help you. Still, if talking about it will lighten your burden even a little, I'll listen. I'm only just going to listen. Nothing more will happen. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Mion seems to know what kind of thing I'd be talking about. She warned me that doing so will be fruitless. That much was obvious. If what I was going to say was true, then the Sonozaki family would be the masterminds behind the string of freak deaths that had been occurring every year in Hinamizawa. You know that stuff, about Oyashiro-sama's curse, right? Mia nodded a little. No one knows what it is or why it happens. Even if each incident is solved, the string of deaths and accidents as a whole is still a mystery. But there's one thing connecting them all, and that's how the targets are always enemies of the village. Seems like it. Mion spoke as if it didn't relate to her. That was fine. She didn't have to admit it. For now, I just want her to stay quiet and listen to me. The day after tomorrow is Watsunagashi, isn't it? Has the sacrifice for this year's curse been decided already? Mion didn't answer. Her expression remained the same too. Like she said, she was just quietly listening. Sorry. The promise was that you'd just listen, so it's weird for me to ask you a question, huh? Mion gave a look like she'd never given me before. A faraway look. A sympathetic one. She didn't nod, she just smiled faintly and listened to me. If this year's curse isn't going to be on Satoko's uncle, then please change it to him. I mean, last year it was her aunt, right? It's in the right order, so it wouldn't be weird. You're right, it seems like there's an order. I mean, after her uncle died to the curse last year, he abandoned Satoko and fled into the town for a whole year. Why wouldn't a guy like that definitely be next on Oishiro-sama's list? There shouldn't be any issue with choosing him for this year. I see. If he were to die from the curse this year, no one would see anything unusual about it. I heard that Oishiro-sama's curse is, well, no matter how I looked at it, I wasn't sure whether I should continue. No matter how I tried, the words wouldn't come out. The string of freak deaths in Hinamizawa, also called Oishiro-sama's curse. You're saying they're incidents perpetrated by the villagers, carried out by the 3 families at the Sonozaki's instructions. Is that it? I don't care one bit whether you have anything to do with it. I'm just saying, if you have any way of communicating with whoever decides the targets of the curse, then I just want you to tell them to choose Satoko's uncle. Please. Everything you've been saying has been terrible. If the freak deaths occurred in Hinamizawa were carried out by the will of the Sonozaki family, that would mean the main culprit would be me, wouldn't it? I would have chosen the target of the curse. I would have, given the instructions, killed many people, and gotten rid of others. You're calling me a murderer, Punchy-chan? I didn't say that. Didn't you listen to me? I don't care whether you're the one behind the murders or not. I just don't. Even if you were the culprit, it wouldn't change the fact that you're my friend. It doesn't matter at all. If the police were chasing you, I'd come to help you. I'd make you an alibi and even help you escape. Because we're friends and comrades. Aren't we? Mion looked surprised for a while. She was dumbfounded. Now you're declaring yourself complicit? Punchy-chan, that's pretty bold of you. Come on, don't interrupt. Satoko's uncle. Choose him for... Stop right there, Punchy-chan. I want to start dinner soon, so I'd like to leave things at this. Mion! I then realized that my cheeks were wet with tears. They slid down to my chin and fell, drip drop, to the tatami mat. It's like I said at the start. You've got a big misunderstanding. Oishio-sama's curse is just that. Even if there were people behind those incidents, they don't have anything to do with the Sonozaki family, or me, either. Right. I understand that. It's just... It was touching to hear such a desperate plea, Punchy-chan. But that was all it was. Even if I wanted to help, I can't. You understand that too, right? Yeah. But now I know how you feel so well it hurts. If I really were, like you said, the one controlling the three families and choosing the sacrifices every year, I'd probably grant your wish. Mion! But the reality is different. I'm just Mion Sonozaki. My family may be the subject of all sorts of bad rumors about controlling Hinamizawa from the shadows, but we have nothing to do with the freak death incidents. We may have been a little extreme during the damn war, but that's all. We would never do something so insane as to kill people. That's... Don't say such sad things. Right now, at least. I don't care. Why can't you just be nice and lie to me? Punchy-chan, you're free to believe what you like. If I lied to you now, you'd be convinced Satoko would be freed the night after tomorrow, and you'd be able to shed much of your burden. However, reality is harsh. Satoko's uncle will survive beyond that day. He'd still be alive next week, and the week after that. You need to prepare yourself for that. I don't want you coming to me the day after watching Nagashi and demanding to know why he wasn't killed. Mion. Mion stood up slowly and closed the sliding door to keep out the wind that had grown chilly. Was it Mio-san? Did she give you all those ideas? She really likes to misunderstand things about Hinamizawa. Well, you can let her have her fun. But I don't really want her influencing you, Punchy-chan. Jeez. This is why outsiders are no good. Takano-san had nothing to do with it. Right. Don't worry. Even though I know she told you about it, Punchy-chan, nothing's going to happen. It's not like Mio-san will be chosen for this year's curse. Oh god. Besides, we don't even know for sure if the curse will happen this year. Maybe it was all just a pile of unfortunate coincidences. Thanks for listening. If you aren't connected to the serial deaths at all, then it must have been an uncomfortable conversation. I'll apologize for it. I see. You'll apologize for it. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, it's a much different turn, but that is what I thought he would do. Mion said she didn't have much time, but she still brought me to the gate. She said she had a meeting or something today about Sunday's Watanagashi festival, so there would be a lot of people from the town council and the festival committee coming. Despite her day being so busy, she still listened to what I had to say. If there's a God in heaven, then he probably understands how strongly you feel. Yeah. I'm really sorry for being so weird today. You can pretend like this discussion never happened if you want. Okay. I'll forget about it. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I had really only spent a short time with Mion. Talking to her made me think. It was clear that Takano-san had told me, at least, wasn't a complete fabrication. If Mion if Mion was really unconnected to the incidents, then she probably wouldn't have listened to me so quietly. She heard me out until I was done without making any quips, and I wanted something. I did kind of feel like I was grasping at straws. Of course, thinking back on it, it was a terrible thing to discuss. I mean, I went to my friend's house, called her a serial murderer, and told her to kill Satoko's uncle. I was the only one talking that whole time. Mion quietly listened to everything I had to say like a pastor listening to a confession. She could have gotten angry partway through, told me off, and to go wash my face in miso soup and come back later. But she didn't. Was that proof that Mion's family, the Sonozakis, were the masterminds? Or was she just listening because she felt sorry for me going kind of crazy? I didn't know which it was, but it was the one effort I could make at the moment. It was another form of insurance. Should worst come to worst, the public agency decided to wait and see. It was a completely useless resistance, literally grasping at straws. Sensei said that if she reported it to the Child Consultation Center, they'd have to respond on the same day. Could they already be in the middle of responding to it now? If Satoko came to school tomorrow morning all energetic, then everything would be just a needless fear, and you would have condemned Tometake and Takano-san. Why couldn't tomorrow come faster? That night was unusually hot and humid, and I couldn't get to sleep. I said all that to Sensei. They couldn't possibly decide to wait and see again this year. Satoko, what was it like for her tonight? Had she tasted the end of her nightmare, enjoying a night of liberation? I actually put my hands together and prayed in my futon. What a day. Oh, okay, so Punchy just went through his morning already. Alright, well, before we get to school and see the results of Chie-Sensei's labor, let's end it there. Oh man, Punchy just called out a hit. Once I realized that he was going there, and then you can kind of guess if you piece together that they cut off what Tometake and Takano-san and Punchy were talking about. But that's crazy. Like, this is how crazy it is that Punchy is ingrained in Hinazawa's culture, or just how much they've accepted him. Especially Mion, who is essentially the leader in all this. How much he's accepted him, that it was okay that he knew, and that he could say all that stuff. I mean, she hit it, she obviously played it all off and told him that nothing was going to happen, but it doesn't change the fact that she is the leader, and how Punchy is still alive. Oof. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.